During the semester, we learned how to use technology such as smartboards, iPads, clickers, tech choices such as a QR code, and flipped classroom. In this video, I will be going over my reaction to these pieces of technology and the way that I learned to implement them in the classroom. The first project that we did involved the interactive whiteboard. Unfortunately, I do not have the project to show you because my free trial ran out and the project is no longer on my computer. However, I did find it very easy to use and very practical in the classroom. I think it's a very good and fun way to get students in front of the classroom participating in the lesson and feeling more comfortable going to the front of the board in front of their peers. I definitely think this is a positive piece of technology that every classroom should be using. Next, we have the clickers. The clicker assignment proved to be an interesting project. After using them and seeing how easily the students' results can be found, I became very open to them. It makes the task of determining whether a student is understanding the lesson or not much easier, and I can imagine how, for a student, it would be more enjoyable to be evaluated through the use of a response clicker rather than an additional test or homework assignment. I also like how it saves time for the teacher, so rather than grading assignments by hand, the teacher can now see who in the classroom understands the lesson within the click of a button. So I think it's a very good tool, and also, like the whiteboard, I no longer have it on my computer because I did it through the whiteboard system. Next, we have the iPad. With the iPad, I used an application that had many math problems on it that I could solve with my fingertip, and the students used an application that almost replicated a whiteboard on an iPad. When first trying to come up with a lesson through the iPad, I didn't really know if I would enjoy teaching with it. However, as I taught the lesson, I began to realize why this would be a useful tool in the classroom. And through AirPlay, as I was saying, I was able to not only see the students' answers, but also see their work as they were doing it. This is helpful for the teacher to see and understand where exactly the student is making a mistake and gives them an opportunity to fix the problem as soon as it happens. So it's really like as soon as someone makes a mistake, you can be like, oh, well, let me help you with that, instead of having them do 25 homework problems wrong and then coming into class the next day and having to fix them all right then. So I really enjoyed the iPad. Next, we did the on your own, and my group chose to use the QR codes in the classroom. Through our project, we had the students go on a scavenger hunt throughout the hallway, and at each different room number, there was a QR code for them to scan. With a math problem, the answer to the math problem would then lead them to the corresponding room number to get their next problem. So it was a really great way to get students off of their feet using teamwork, and it was a very good interactive tool. Along with the QR code scavenger hunt, we made a PowerPoint which just goes over what a QR code is, which is a quick response code, why you should use it in the classroom. Some examples are it eliminates long web addresses, they can eliminate websites that are not child-friendly, it saves paper and time, and they're really easy to make. And then I just went by a step-by-step process of how to make them. So I think the key to technology in the classroom is making it easy for teachers, so it eliminates time for them and it makes it very accessible. So this QR code, I can definitely see me reusing it in a classroom in my future. Next, we have my flipped classroom presentation, which I did on adjectives. I thought that the video was very easy to make and edit, which says a lot because I'm not very good with technology. Although it was easy, the idea of using a flipped classroom in a traditional school is very hard for me to visualize. I don't think I can see it working in every subject, but I do see how it makes sense in subjects such as sciences and stuff like that, because then the students can really prepare themselves for an experiment or group work. However, I don't see it happening so much in English and history subjects where discussions are really a key learning point there. But I guess it depends on how creative you are. Throughout my video, I followed it through a PowerPoint. I used PowerPoints as well as myself and my dog. So I think for this to be successful, you really need to make sure that you're in a area where each student has access to this, each student is motivated, because where each student is really motivated, because if not, you risk the fact of taking all this time to make the flipped classroom videos, and if you have maybe one or two students who doesn't feel like watching it that night for homework, they're going to come to class and be completely lost, and then you're just going to have to teach it over again. So I think it is a good tool if you have faster paced students in your classrooms. But other than that, I think traditional teaching is more appealing to me at this time. But who knows, maybe in the future I'll be able to apply flipped classroom to my classroom and change my opinion. It is very helpful. I think it's a great tool if you have a student in your class who is homeschooled for medical reasons or reasons beyond their control. I think that's a great tool, and it's a great way for them to learn without sitting in their desk at home just reading a book. So I do think there are advantages to this, definitely. In whole, I really learned a lot in this class, and I'm very glad I took it. I can definitely see myself using all of these technologies in my future lesson plans in classroom. I think it's a really great way to engage students and have them doing different things rather than just sitting at their desk all day with their pencil and pen writing stuff. So I definitely see the advantages. I wish that my teachers in high school and elementary school used these and had access to these programs, so I'm very excited to use them.